Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Savvy Cast. This is Jamie, and I'm so grateful that you are here today. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast, I'm always grateful for my listeners. So today I have a very special guest, and if you followed me any length of time, you've probably read about her, heard her on a previous podcast, or seen her numerous times on my Instagram. It is one of my dearest friends. She's like a sister to me, Debra Hewitt. Debra, hello. Thank you for being here.
Glad to be here.
Okay. Well, Debra is actually downstairs in my house because
I don't know how to do.
she's a creative and Zooming is not easy for her. So I've set everything up. So I'm upstairs in my office. She's downstairs, but Debra, you don't have to know technical things because you're a creator of all things beautiful. So, okay. Well, today, what we are going to do, I wanted to share with my followers something that I find extremely useful for myself in my home and to give to others. And it's really gift art. It's Debra, I'm going to let you define it, but what I've done today, and for those of you who are listening, if you want to see everything that I'm sharing, you need to hop over to the YouTube version and you can see everything I'm talking about. But at the end, I'm going to link to all of this and you can see everything on Debra's site. Her work is absolutely stunning. It's just amazing. So, Debra, let's just start. Oh, wait. My first question is always, it's an icebreaker. And I did not tell you this, so you are going to be on the spot.
Okay.
What would you choose for your last meal?
Ooh.
Your last meal. So,
what immediately
calories don't count. You're just going to
I know, but listen, I immediately go back to growing up in Mississippi and going to my grandparents' farm in the Delta. And she made the best fried chicken with mashed potatoes and gravy, with her cornbread. Everything came from their farm that we picked, shelled those peas. So it would be the peas, mashed potatoes, gravy, her fried chicken, and her sweet tea.
Oh, okay. Now you're not going to have dessert? No dessert?
Oh, she always did dessert, but I'm not, I'm not a big sweet.
But you're about to go see Jesus.
Key lime pie.
Key lime pie. Oh, key lime pie. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that sounds great. That sounds like my kind of last meal too. So you and I both grew up at the feet of wonderful grandmothers, mothers, and gardening and produce. And that's something that is a true gift. But okay, Debra, for those who may have not listened to the previous podcast, which shares all about your story, how you became an artist, your inspiration, how God and your faith plays into everything. I highly encourage those of you who haven't listened to that, please go take a listen. I'll link to that podcast. We don't have a YouTube for that. But Debra, can you just sum up how you became an artist who's never had a lesson in your life, and how did you get to where you are today?
Even thinking about it, because whenever we talk about it, I could just get so emotional about it because the Lord told me to start painting, and this was probably 18 years ago.
How old were you then?
We moved to Birmingham 19 years ago, so 30s.
How did you, when you say the Lord told you, what do you mean by that?
I felt in my spirit I was supposed to be. At first I thought, is it painting? Is it something with textiles, which always is my love, textiles. But I did grow up watching my mother paint, my grandmother. They were all so creative. Everything that they did was just natural. They had that ability. And then I did go to Ole Miss and graduate with fashion merchandising and marketing. So I had always I love color and this design aspect, and always loved art. And the more I started doing the art, I started refining my eye for everything. But Jamie, that's just what had happened. The Lord put on my heart. And Bobby one day looked at me and said, okay, Deb, what are you doing? You're buying all this art and you're doing all this. And I just remember saying, honey, I really don't know what I'm doing, but please help me figure it out, because he's, logistics, type A, keeping me in line on everything with the business.
A great business manager.
Yes. So today, Bobby's the one that just says, Debra, go create, be creative. But I come to him with all my little thoughts and my things and my visions and my dreams. And
well, what was because you said the Lord told you, and you were going out buying supplies, which are expensive, and you were painting. Were people buying your things?
not at that time.
So
And then
what were you doing with them? Giving them away as gifts?
I just was just in my basement
Yeah.
doing them.
When
And
did you
so
sell your first piece?
the
Do you
Mount Laurel
remember?
Art Festival, I ended up, I
Oh,
was so
wow.
afraid to sign up. I'm like, and I went downstairs, signed up for it, and I walked back upstairs. I was like, okay, Bobby, I just signed up to do the Mount Laurel Art Festival. And so he was like, okay, great. And you know him, Mr. Doer, he got
Yeah.
the tent, he got the tables, he got everything
Uh-huh.
for me. And I remember I sold right at $1,000 at the
Your
festival.
very first art show.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, things were
Wow.
$12, $15, $5. I mean, I was just like, because I didn't think people would like it. I was so nervous, you know?
Okay. How did you feel? I didn't know you then.
Mm-mm.
That was right before we probably met at
Yeah,
St. Vincent's 119 exercise, actually.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
so what you had to have felt like, God, thank you. I did hear your voice.
Oh, I often think so many times if I would not have stepped out in faith and followed this little inkling in my spirit to do it. See, I could tear up talking about it because I just, I've said this before. I felt like this child that I got on a bike and I grabbed these handlebars and I said, okay, I'm just going to ride. Just hold on to me and push me. Help me figure this out. And Jamie, you know this. He just kept opening doors, opening doors. I got my first store that I think found me from the art festival. Her best friend saw an angel, called Mitzi. Then Mitzi called me, had a place in Knoxville, and it all started there.
And
And
the
then
ball started rolling.
mhm,
I will just say you are a full-fledged business. I see
yeah,
you and everyone I know. I'm over there. We could walk to each other's house.
yeah,
Her studio is the studio.
yeah,
You're shipping
yeah.
all over. You're having art. You can travel to any art show that you want to. You are a big time artist.
No, you're sweet.
So can you explain to us how your faith
Mm.
is a part of every piece that anyone might purchase? How does that play in? Tell everyone just sort of part of what.
I guess I feel like it's so much his business that he, I guess, entrusted me. I think of all the people I've met along the way. I feel like the ministries that Bobby and I love to support through the business. And I didn't share this, but I remember also praying the prayer of Jabez and
Mm,
just said, Lord,
enlarge my
I
territory.
did. I
Hmm.
did. Prayed that Bobby was out of town and I was sitting in front of the fireplace. The children were little and they were asleep. And that's what I did. I prayed and he answered it, you know? I mean, and I can remember back then I would be like, how am I going to get all these pieces done for 2 stores? And now it's grown to throughout the course of a year. I probably sell wholesale to 60 stores around the country and
Hmm.
then all of the website sales. So it never fails. It's like I get
And
it
you're
done.
still getting new stores. I mean,
Yeah.
you'll tell
Hmm.
me, I think you tell
Yeah.
me this week you had
Yeah.
another store contact you.
Yeah.
Deborah, for those who are listening or watching and they think, oh, I want to see if there's a store near me. Can we put a listing or is there an easy way? Is it on your website where you can?
Really probably should do that. I I haven't done that. First of all, most of the places that carry my work, they are in towns and great cities where people support small businesses. People are all
Mhm,
about supporting small businesses right now.
mhm.
And so I
Right,
think about
right.
the website sales more 90% of the time, that website sale, there it's going to where there's not a store. Like I shipped something to Sacramento, California this week. So most
Shipping is your preferred way for people who don't live near a store.
they buy it off the website.
Okay,
They go
okay.
to the website and they can buy anything off the website and then it is shipped. Yes, I ship everything. Mhm.
Okay,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
so shipping is not a big deal to you, it's just part of what you do
Oh
every
no,
day.
that's so easy. I mean,
Mhm.
I have a whole area in my studio that's strictly for shipping. We do everything UPS ground. I love UPS.
Yeah.
Most places, if I ship it, if they're in our region, they get it the next day. If it's on the East Coast, West Coast, up north,
Oh,
usually
wow.
no more than 3 days. And I've
Oh my
never had a
goodness.
problem with UPS ever.
That's amazing.
I know. It's good.
Okay, well, we're gonna get to my favorite part. Okay, I've got so many of your pieces. You're very kind to me to let me get so much. You have told me to find another artist to supplement. I just haven't Oh, okay. But what I want us to talk about today, because I think this is very useful to those listening or watching. Deborah, art is definitely, yes, a commission that someone has you design for their wall or their space.
Mhm,
But there's also something that I love personally, and I think anyone can avail themselves of, and that is gift art.
mhm, mhm.
Describe what gift art is.
So when I created, I guess I started with smaller pieces because I thought I want to be able for someone to be able to gift a friend and that it was a
Mhm,
reasonable price and it was original art. And you
mhm.
know me, Jamie, I'm drawn to a piece and I want it to mean something,
Yes,
like
yes.
with the
You're
tulips.
very intentional with every
Very
single piece.
intentional about it. I want it to really some sentimental piece be attached to it. So I just created a gift art collection for
Mhm.
people to be able to gift their friends, a baby shower, confirmation, wedding
Graduation,
gifts, graduation gifts. So
bridesmaids gifts. Mhm.
oh, I do so many of that, so much of that right now. And I get the bride to come over. We talk through it. I can give me your price range, give me what you want, and I can create whatever they want. I don't keep it in one little niche. I say, what do you want for your wedding? What is it you want? And
Mhm.
then we create for brides and hostess gifts. And so yeah.
Deborah, can you do that virtually? If someone is, let's say they're in Texas and
Yeah.
they're having a wedding, their daughter's having a wedding, and they want to get their 12 bridesmaids a piece of gift art.
Yeah.
Could you Zoom and talk about that?
Yeah, they absolutely could.
Or
Most of the time, I mean, because I'm doing commissions right now. I'm doing some for a couple out in Texas. So it's give me pictures. We talk over the phone. We can do that. So normally I would say, tell me what you want. I may create something, send them a picture. Is this what you have in mind?
or go to your website for some ideas.
Always go to the
I would
website.
say that's the first step
Oh,
because
that's the first thing I say. Yeah.
you have so honestly, you have such a variation of
Yeah.
things, of looks that I think anyone could find something without having to
Sure.
create their own look. So,
Right.
well, Deborah,
But
what
it
I'm
could be, let me just say this. So it could be if it's on the website in a certain size and they're like, can you go one size down and keep it in this range or whatever? I'm like, absolutely. I always want to be accommodating to do
yes.
whatever because everybody's different. Everybody's budget is different.
Mhm.
So I always want to keep it to where it's exactly what they want and I want them to be 100%.
Okay, so anyone can go to your website and let's say they like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. What I've done is I have brought pieces that are in my home that are gift art.
Mhm.
And I'm going to show you and Deborah can explain maybe how you might get this in a different size or shape. And I'm also going to tell you how I style these in my home and give those of you who might want to do this some ideas. So I'm going to start with this. And Deborah, do you call this block art? How do you?
That is on a wood panel. It's an artist wood panel that we purchased through my supplier.
That
It's
one,
that
two.
that's about an inch and a half. So that size, particularly there, is a 3 by 6 by an inch and a half. That's the angel, the gift art angel.
Mhm.
That's the smallest one. Lots of texture. As you can see, I use a lot of texture.
If you
Always,
run your hand, it's like you can feel the angel.
yeah. Mhm,
And these colors may not, but it's very soft.
mhm,
Your look and your aesthetic is a very soothing, soft. I
mhm.
mean, you can go, you can vary, but your look is
Right. And like if let's say that this somebody's on the website and they see that, they
yes.
could always put in notes, this is for a baby gift. Could you add a little light pink? You know,
Oh,
there's a
yes.
section for notes there. Or
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
Okay. Or could you make, okay, because there's just a little blue in the
mhm,
angel's gown, you could say
mhm.
maybe make that pink.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then there'll be a
So
verse on the back of everything too.
yes, there's a verse on the back of everything. Now, Deborah, I'm going to tell how I might use this or how I might gift this. To me, an angel could
Mhm.
be the birth of a child.
Oh yeah.
You could use pink or blue if you wanted to, and just give that to someone who's just had a baby when you go first visit them.
Mhm.
To me, this could also be a condolence. Although you do say that when people are buying a condolence piece of art, your number one thing that they buy is the red bird, correct?
They buy the red bird or they buy the angel.
Hmm.
And a lot of times, I've done this. People have reached out to me, and it's so hard when someone's lost a loved one.
Mm-hmm.
But I gave you, Jamie, up there to look at the three angels, and that's
Oh,
in my
yeah.
Christmas collection this year, and it's called the Angel of Protection, and that comes with an easel. So a lot of times, someone may ask me, "Can you do two angels or three angels? Could you have, or maybe the person has passed away? Could you put it up in the right hand corner, like they're watching over us?" And that's when someone
Yes.
calls me, and I do whatever they want.
Okay. Okay. And this is one thing that was not in my home, but this is absolutely beautiful. It's acrylic. So you've painted this on a piece of clear
Yes.
acrylic,
Yes.
and there's an easel
Mm-hmm.
that is acrylic,
Yep.
and you can just set it here. Now I do have a piece like this in my bathroom, but it just doesn't have this on it. I
That's one of
love
the
the
new
acrylic.
pieces in my Christmas Joy to the World collection this year.
Mhm.
So that's one of my pieces for this season for Christmas.
Okay. Now I will say, while I'm holding up these three angels,
Mm-hmm.
I have a commission piece
Mm-hmm.
in my kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, Deborah, how tall? It's very tall. And
I'm
it's
gonna say
got the
24 by 48.
24 by
Mm-hmm.
48 of three angels, and
Mhm.
each represents one of my daughters, one of my three daughters. So angels, I think, are so versatile.
Oh yeah.
Holiday, anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here is one that I also love, and I've got this. Deborah, this is, first of all, my favorite size that you do.
That's a 4 by 12 by 1.5.
Okay.
And then that one is just my all white cross in the cross
And it's
collection.
built up very.
Built up. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Because not everybody, some people, the other cross I do has the gold on it. It's all gold leafed,
Yes.
just the cross. But then I created that one last season. Just, it's very pretty in a little vignette if someone doesn't want a lot of color, but they want it sitting on a table with some other things around it. And it's just real pretty and peaceful and real simple.
Well, I love this size, and I have this one, but my cross is gold. And if you'll notice, the 1.5 side is gold leaf, so it's pretty all around, and even the back has the gold leaf. So however anyone looks at this, it's beautiful and it's finished. So this, to me, when I have mine and a vignette, I'm very big on vignettes. Those are just little sections of your home, whether it's the top of a table. Mine is under a window. I change mine out where you have an odd number, typically 3 to 5 pieces that just varying sizes that complement each other. With this, I would have a candle maybe that came up maybe halfway, just a larger candle, and then maybe a vase of fresh flowers. I love to use a candle and fresh flowers with a piece of Deborah's art, and I sort of change. That's my vignette.
Yeah, you always do something really pretty by your sink, and it's always just
because that's where I do my food.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
Yeah. Okay. Now here's another, and this is a fan favorite. I think you sell tons of these, and this is my favorite because this came from my kitchen. Okay. This is the same size, my favorite size. Again, it's the
4 by 12.
4 by 12. So it's
1.5.
tall and thin. Yeah. This is your tulip, your single white tulip. And y'all, this is so beautiful the way this is built up.
So much texture in those. And it's neat because no two will ever be the same. Like they're all going to be different.
And the verse on the back is always different.
I always do Isaiah 58:11. I always do that one.
On the tulip.
On the tulip, I do that one on the back.
Oh, but on the other pieces, you have whatever verse comes to you or whatever the person might request.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and when I say you have the verse, you don't have the whole verse written out. You have the scripture reference.
Yeah.
Okay. And your signature. Okay. So I have this in my window often. I love to put a vase of fresh white tulips and then a white candle and just have an all white vignette. That's just so beautiful. Okay. Now this, Deborah, can you explain what this is? This is I've never seen this in stores other than yours.
That is a landscape that I painted on a piece of silk and then put it in the acrylic frame. I need to do more of those.
This is lovely. And you see how it's a self-standing.
It is.
Deborah, what do you call these?
What now?
What are these? They screw in. I need to tighten.
That's just almost like an easel to where
you don't have to buy an easel.
Tabletop. Correct. It just makes it stand up on its own. And I love those. I need to order those. now that you're bringing
Okay,
that up.
this is beautiful, and you can make this, Deborah, in other sizes, correct?
That one comes
Because
in, the tabletop is just that size. I think that is either an 8.5 by 12 or 9 by 12. So
okay, I have this sitting on a very large table, and I have books stacked around
Yeah.
it and a candle on top of the books. This is
Yeah.
pretty substantial, so it needs larger
Yeah.
pieces. And Deborah, I know people are going to ask, since we have acrylic here, how do you clean acrylic art?
Okay. You clean acrylic art with either Pledge, you can
Ooh.
clean it with rubbing alcohol. I have in my studio a thing of Pledge and a thing of rubbing alcohol. Don't do
A spray of alcohol, a way you can spray it, or do you just rub it on a?
I just pour it on
Oh,
on
okay.
a lint-free rag, and then I
Mhm.
just brush it and just wipe things off. You can get plastic cleaner. You get
Okay.
plastic cleaner, but really Pledge is the best.
You know what's so interesting? I have so many of your acrylic pieces. I've never had to clean them. Not
Pledge.
yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pledge.
Okay. Now, this is so special to me. And everyone, if you have an occasion where you want to buy something that is extremely beautiful and special,
Yeah.
look at this acrylic piece. And Deborah, this is what, 4 by 5 by
That's a
5?
6 by 6.
6 by 6. And
And
look,
it's 3 inches deep. It's a shadow box. So for yours in particular, I did that selenite quartz, and then we put an older crucifix on top of it. Now, a lot of times what I just find old fragment art that looks
mhm,
just so pretty. I even found a whole bunch when I went to market the other week
right.
in this antique showroom. And so I'll be doing much more of that. But then I have tons of old crosses and just also my gold leaf cross I'll put on there. And they're just oh, so pretty. I love them.
I mean, this is exquisite. And I also want to point out, okay, everyone who's on YouTube, you can see the selenite, which, oh my goodness, this is just beautiful. And then you see the crucifix.
Mhm.
But Deborah, you have it mounted on a canvas
Right.
within the shadow box. So there's so
Correct.
many layers to
Yeah.
this.
Mhm.
Now,
That could go on a tabletop, or we always put a hanger on the back
there's a
if
hanger here,
someone
but
wanted to hang it.
I like this. This sits on top of a stack of coffee
Right.
table books.
Mhm.
So that's
And
how
I
I do
have
mine.
those in an 8 by 10 and 12 by 12s, and they could even go up to a 16 by 20. So
Okay.
some good sizes.
All right. Now, this is something that is often by my window. I wanted this size because
Yeah.
my space needed something, it needed something tall, and I
Mhm.
wanted to go a little wider than the tulip and the cross that I just showed everyone. What size is this, Deborah?
That's a 6 by 12. Now that was strictly just for you for your space. You were like, remember you said I need something that's
I
about a
wanted
6
it.
by 12. Let's do a little,
Mhm,
so that strictly was for your spot in your space, which I
mhm,
can always do for somebody. But that
mhm.
was for your area over there by your sink. That
Yes. And
and we
what
did
it
it for
is,
your colors and all that.
yes. And what it is Deborah, this is what an abstract with just
Mhm.
some gold leaf mixed
Mhm.
in, and then the
Yeah.
sides are gold.
Mhm.
And y'all, I'm sorry, the lighting's not great to show this. But when I use this piece at my window, I go bigger on the vase
Yeah.
and a little bigger on the candle. So based upon what size art you choose, you can change up your pieces to make the vignette look the way you want it
Yeah.
to look. Okay, and Deborah, since you're down in my kitchen, I've asked
Mhm.
you to hold up something. Would
Yeah.
you? Okay, this is the perfect combination,
Mhm.
everyone, of beautiful and practical. Deborah, okay, this is one of my favorites, and you've sold a ton of these because
I do.
I
I do
use
a ton
this.
of this. Mhm.
I use this. I do not have an appliance garage. First of all, we just never built one. Second of all, I think they're ugly. I'm sure they're pretty now. You can have pretty appliance garages.
Yeah.
But Deborah painted this for me.
Yep.
And every morning I move it, set it aside, and I have my coffee maker, my espresso maker, and my tea kettle. When
Yep.
I'm done and everything's clean, I push it into the corner and I put this piece, and y'all, it's beautiful. Deborah, what size is that? And
This is a 16 by 20. Like I said, I could do any size, even an 18 by 24 could work according to your space. But
uh-huh.
you know me, I'm all about numbers. So when I was doing it, I did 5 tulips to represent 5 members of their family for the 3 children, and then she and Zane.
Can you show the side, Deborah? The
and then
side of it?
I gold leaf everything on the sides.
Mhm.
And there's a cross in the corner here that I
Yep.
go leave. And there's just so much, it's just hard to see, but there's just
Beautiful.
so much texture in these tulips.
So
I've got a commission right now, Jamie, for a 24 by 36 all white tulips for a couple out in Texas. And it's just, you can put it with anything, any art.
yes, you can.
I have a 30 by 40 that I just finished at home that I'm like hanging on to. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
The
it.
thing about the white tulips is you've got, even though you've not got color, it's white, you've got that texture and it's
Oh,
rich looking. But then you have the gold on the side and then the little gold, it's just exquisite.
it's
To
just
me,
it's just a very elegant look.
it's clean and elegant.
Right.
So if any of you are saying, I want a piece, I want something in my house, but maybe you have a certain color scheme that you don't want to compete with. Now, Deborah, you're the artist, but my personal recommendation would be to get maybe the tulip, the white tulip, tulips, or the white cross.
Yeah.
What do you
Well, I agree
see?
with you. I agree with that 100%. But I've always said this, art is different for everyone. I personally like to collect art that's going to speak to me. There's a meaning behind it. There's something to it.
Mhm.
And sometimes it may not be the exact color that I think would go in a certain room, but it's still, I just think as an art collector, it doesn't all have to just match and go. I think
Mhm.
if the art speaks to you, there's something about that for me. You know how I am.
Yes, yes. Okay. So let me just give you a scenario, and I'm going to be someone who's listening, and I'm like, oh, goodness, I have got a daughter getting married.
Mhm.
So we've got some bridesmaids.
Mhm.
So I would contact you and say, okay, I've got this many girls,
Mhm.
and then I've got this kind of budget.
Mhm.
So basically, you need to know how many pieces,
Mhm.
what the budget is,
Mhm.
and then you'll walk through some of the practical
Mhm.
elements of, okay, you can get this or this within your budget. And then is it pretty easy for people to arrive at a conclusion when they're doing
Oh,
this kind of thing?
absolutely. And I will say, for the most part, tulips are huge for wedding gifts
Yes.
because great for bridesmaids gifts.
Hmm.
And like I just created some for our dear friend for
Marie,
all of her
Marie Marino,
bridesmaids.
she's been on the
Yes.
on the podcast several times.
So they came over and we
Hmm.
talked through everything. All of her things were just so stunning and beautiful. But we did for her bridesmaids, they wanted a different size. So I did the canvas size that they wanted for the girls
Hmm.
and created exactly what she wanted. And I tell you, as a matter of fact, I've got a phone call coming today from someone in Atlanta, my sister's sister-in-law. So her daughter's getting married, and she
Hmm.
texted me last night, Deb, when can we talk? I've got to have hostess gifts and gifts for,
Right.
so we'll talk through everything she wants, and I'll tell you what I did. I ended up buying a certain size acrylic that she wanted.
Hmm.
And then I did the acrylic stand, and these are on my website as well. And I did the little selenite on there and did a little smaller gold leaf cross. And then we did it on the
Mm.
stand. I think they're on the website under, I think it says limited edition cross with selenite, but I did
Mhm.
the size she wanted. They were so pretty.
Oh, I've seen
I
them.
was
They're
like, I was loved them. I absolutely loved them.
And to me, if you have to give a gift and you want to give something that you're not going to have a duplicate. I mean, nobody's going to be opening two of your
Correct.
pieces. So,
Correct. Yeah.
and I believe especially if it's a female,
Mhm.
it will be adored and cherished. It'll be used. Deborah, what would you say to someone who maybe has a 50th wedding anniversary?
You want to know what I did? Okay, this has been years ago. And it was a girl who called me, and it was her parents. It was either something like that or a big birthday.
Mhm.
I did this massive canvas, and there were, for the children and the grandchildren, I did like this army of angels, and it was very subtle. And there was one child that I think had passed away. And
Mm.
so I put in the very top corner this really small little angel up in the top corner, and I kept it very muted. We did it simple colors, and I had some of the angels were looking at each other, some were turned away and looking at the other,
Mm.
and it was like an army of angels on a canvas.
And I will say, and I just know this because we're so close, but you have walked through a lot with a lot of people that you've never met in person, because so many people are drawn to give something when someone is grieving. And boy, you've had some, and I know you would not share those, but you've just had some instances where you were able to bless people in a very difficult time of their life.
And a lot of times it is going to be a red bird for people. But
Now, why do people always ask you for red birds for? Is there a symbolic?
The symbolic of whenever you see the red bird, just it shows your loved one is near,
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's been pretty hard, but it also gives you an opportunity just to talk with them and talk through it, and even, let them know I'm praying for them, and even reach out later, and just because there's a connection there. If somebody's going to reach out and they want your art, I'm so grateful always. I never take it for granted. I'm always like, thank you, Lord. And you just want to, my heart can get really heavy on stuff like that. I had one in particular that I did for a friend their friend lost a loved one. And that was tough for me. It was really tough. Like you're saying, I can't share anything here, but it was just so tough to go, wow, I'm doing this for someone that is just,
in the midst of something. Well, I'm going to step right over here and get something, and you know what I'm probably about to get.
Oh, no, I don't. What are you about to get? I'm not sure.
Okay, you had a part to play in this.
I did.
But you did not paint this. But the reason I'm showing this and sharing this on the podcast is because it's so difficult to know how to bless someone when they're grieving. You might take them a meal. You might go take them for a walk. When I lost my Cam, I was grieving, and you walked through that with me. But a dear friend of ours, you sent him a picture and asked him to do this, and y'all presented this to me. And actually, Deborah, you framed this. This means so much to me, and I just can't express. So you can do that and you framed it beautifully, by the way, but you gave Porter Rivers. We love Porter Rivers. He and his wife are in our small group, but he did this based off of a picture, and it means so much. So that is something a lot of people may not think of, giving art to someone who's suffered a loss, but it is something that can be a huge blessing.
I get a lot of messages. I had someone message me several weeks back and asked me to do a yellow butterfly. And I don't do yellow butterflies, but her best friend lost her mother, and her mother loved yellow butterflies. So I did that for her.
Deborah, let me mention, because these are absolutely beautiful, but I don't have any up here with me. But this is great, of course, during Valentine's Day, but I think it would also be great for your hearts are beautiful.
The hearts I build up really heavy.
You build up, yes.
Gold leaf those, and then do the cross inside the heart. Yeah, those are great at Valentine's Day. That is a great idea, for the loss of a loved one. Yeah.
Well, and as we wrap this up, I want to share one benefit of getting art for maybe a group. Maybe, of course, graduation. You're going to get, most people are going to get a handful of graduation invitations. First thing I do is I say, okay, Deborah, I've got graduation. So I pretty much just delegate to you, because you know me, you know what I want to do. But everyone, it's such a wonderful thing to be able to have everything one and done, no running around shopping.
And I'll wrap them too if they want to wrap. But I've not even told you this, Jamie. I got a message several weeks ago from one of the crosses that you gave one of Emma's friends with the hooks under the bottom.
Oh, my goodness.
So this girl messaged me and said, one of my roommates had a cross with hooks under the bottom.
They were key ring hooks. You just screw in. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And I said, they're not on the website. Tell me what size you want. I gave her size options, shipped it out to her with the little hooks under there. And that was from the gift that we created.
Yes.
She said, I want to do this.
Yeah.
For graduation gifts, but I want key hooks when they walk in their dorm room. They can put the, keys right there.
Let me tell you something. Anyone listening or watching, there is not a better gift, I don't think, for guys or girls than something to put when you walk into your dorm room right there by the light switch
Yeah.
with 2 hooks
Yeah.
for everyone's keys, your keys and
Yeah.
your roommate's keys, because you
I do.
can't go anywhere if you don't have your keys,
I know.
and it's right there. Now, Deborah, I have had you do that numerous times. I've had all white ones. I've
Mhm.
had the cross because we
Yeah.
want our kids to be focused on
I
the
know.
cross when they're in
Yeah.
college. If you did that for a guy like you've got the son, Peyton, would there be something you could do for guys that would not look too feminine for them, or do you pretty much say stick to the girls on that one?
I mean, art is so personal, and
Mhm.
girls are, our little girls are, they're at getting to this point.
Yeah,
They're like that point, they're wanting to collect art, they're wanting to do.
right.
I've always told you, I think for a guy, those leather little square little
Oh, yes, the
are great beside their bed with the monogram in the
yes,
middle. I mean, I
yes,
think those are awesome. And now
yes.
I'll say this, and I haven't even told you this. I went to market and I found an acrylics company, and I found an acrylic tray where I can put a painting in between the where you would set your stuff
Oh,
on.
oh,
I
that's
know.
oh,
I'll do
it's
you
like
one.
I think it's called a valet or a key holder.
I'm real excited.
Yeah.
There are a couple little new things that I've got in the works. They were just shipped, so I just got them. So I'm going to work on those, and even some acrylic canisters. They're like to put in your
Oh,
bathroom. So I've been playing around with a bunch of stuff like that, just for maybe a sideline of
right.
home stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
Mhm.
I do want to throw another thing out, because anyone with children, you're going to send them to college. And of course, we're talking about girls
Yeah,
here because guys don't care really.
yeah,
But you're going to have that first year in your dorm, you're going to have that twin bed in that little dank room.
yeah.
How many paintings have you done to go over those twin beds with the tall headboards? You've done it for all of my girls. All of our friends have done those.
I did it for your
It
girls.
it
I did it
changes,
for
it
girls.
makes a dank dorm room look
It
so
does.
classy.
No, it really, really does. I
Yeah.
mean, something like that I've done for all of my
Well,
people.
you're already getting calls from people who are getting their kids ready to go to college. You're getting calls for bigger
Yeah.
pieces to
And
go
I'll
in
tell
there.
you one thing, Jamie, when you're saying that, I've always been like, okay, Lord, I just want that child to turn it over and look at that verse. And a lot of times I do Proverbs 4, I think it's 23 through maybe, or 24 through 26. Guard your heart, for it's a wellspring of
Mm,
life.
mhm.
And then I'm kind of paraphrasing, but you know, keep your feet from evil, stay straight, don't swerve to the right or to the left,
Oh, yes.
just stay steady, stay
Yes.
steady. And I always think, okay, Lord, let's let them read the back and let's see what that verse says. And because that's
Well,
our
even
prayer for
just
our children, you
oh,
know.
and even just having that hanging on the wall,
Oh, I'm
there's
always,
power there, whether they're reading in the back of it or not.
you know how I am. I'm like,
Yeah.
Lord, we just pray the spirit of you is over this, and
Yes.
just let it exude and
Yes.
cover these children.
Well, everyone, I promise you, there is something for any occasion, for anything that you could think of. If you want to give something special, meaningful, and unique,
Yeah.
and this very talented friend of mine will work with you within your budget,
Mhm.
within your preferences.
Yeah.
So, Deborah, tell everyone, and I will have all of this in the show notes. So you will be able to see everything we've discussed, how to get to Deborah, all so forth. Deborah, first of all, give your Instagram handle.
Okay, Instagram, Deborah, Debra Hewitt Art. So DebraHewitt Art.
At
It,
Deborah Hewitt Art. And you keep that very refreshed with what you're currently doing.
right,
And people will often message you, I want that piece. And then
right,
they
right.
get it. Mhm. Actually,
Um,
my favorite piece in my house, I saw on your Instagram. I had no idea you had made it.
can't make another one. It was
And
just
I
one of those
love it.
things.
It was on your
It's a
Instagram. So
silhouette, and she's
yes,
all colorful and beautiful.
it's a
And I'm like,
nude. Mhm.
and I was like, I know I cannot create that again. It's just one of those things that happened one day, and it just,
Well, and Deborah, someone else had reached out, and you said, well, let me know by tomorrow. And they didn't. And I said, sold. So you brought it over. I don't know if they ever. So the bottom line is, if you think you want it, get it, because your stuff sells pretty quickly off Instagram. Instagram shoppers are pretty able to make this.
Well,
I mean,
the Instagram shoppers can go straight to my website.
uh-huh.
They can link into my website and then they just, can buy.
But if you see you can also sell off of that.
Right. If it's a commit, like if it's a big piece, like I think today we're going to post a commission that I just finished. So, someone could see that and I could always, replicate that. But they can also just go to my Debra Hewitt art page if they want to contact me from there, that I'll get an email, or there's a phone number on there. They can always call me as well.
Okay. Now I do not want to end without mentioning Christmas, because even though we are not quite to August, I can assure all of you, because I see it every year, you're already getting orders.
Oh, I am. Yeah.
From stores and from people. And everyone, let me tell you, first of all, my tree, now I may sound like I'm not a sentimental mom, but my tree I do a tree that has art and that has beautiful ornaments. I don't do the tree with I just don't. Those things are special.
I have to have the ornament from Peyton and Maggie from kindergarten.
I know you're a 2. I'm an 8, so that's
I'm a 2.
You're a 2 on the Enneagram.
I want to look at my tree and feel.
Oh, that's right. You want to cry, shed a few tears over a few ornaments. But anyway, Debra does ornaments. Oh, I have one here. Gracious, let me show this.
Oh, which one do you have?
Well, I pulled this out of the closet because I'm already thinking Christmas. This is a nativity, just a small one.
That's mine from this year. That's mine from this year.
Oh, okay. I don't have my reader. So, but I have one that looks very similar. How's this different?
Yeah. That one, this year I did more of a full nativity on there, just Mary, Jesus, and Joseph.
Oh, I see the 3. I didn't. Okay. Cause this is different because I don't have the 3.
That was a little different.
Sheep at the bottom.
But I'll say we just started posting everything on the web, on Instagram. I think last Friday. I feel like for some reason this year, everybody's like so ready for just
normal.
I mean, it went live. I think we'll probably say today that it's gone live. I think maybe we did yesterday, but I bet I've received 15 online website orders so far since we posted it.
And Debra, I would tell people, because I order new ornaments to add to what I have. You also do hangers, and all of this is on the website. And you have silk ribbon of different colors. There are lots of choices. So to me, I would encourage people, if you think you're going to want something Christmas, just go ahead and get it. And you don't have to worry about it, because you start getting absolutely crazy. It's about to start. I mean, you're already
it's
there.
about to start. But there's just,
because what is your deadline, Debra? That you do have to stop at some point.
Jamie, you know how I am. It's very hard for me to say no. So for the most part, my last website order last year, the 14th. And with everything being UPS ground, it gets out the next day. The stores will continue to reorder and build back up their inventory as they send their orders in. So they always just will call and go, okay, here's my initial order. Right. And then I just kind of keep filling it in for them. But there's some really pretty pieces this year. So a couple, like just for an example, I have a beautiful oval piece of acrylic, and it's a 5.5 by 4.5. And then I have my pottery clay that I have attached on top of that. And then I have a full nativity scene built up with texture, going with the beautiful ribbon. And it's all 100% silk ribbon.
It's beautiful.
So pretty. It is like so
well, pretty. Those of you watching and listening, I would encourage you to follow both Debra and me on Instagram. Yeah. Debra is at Debra Hewitt Art, and I am at family_savvy. And Thursday, she and I will be doing an IGTV. It will not be coming out though Thursday. We'll be filming it. We'll be highlighting all of her holiday 2021, because it changes every year. I always think this will be my favorite, but then the next year it's like, oh my stars, it's even better. I don't know how you do that, Jamie. It's just amazing.
But it's hard to go, okay, I'm always like, Lord, just give me the vision of what I'm supposed to do, because it's hard to, recreate, reinvent the wheel every time. But this year,
somehow you managed to make it just more.
This year, I mean, some of them look really like so substantial, and they're very just they're just really, really unique. And so like my nativity this year is on the 7.5 by 7.5 piece of straight acrylic, and everything's built up on there. So it's all see-through with the gold, and then it comes with the stand.
So acrylic is the thing right now. If
I
someone really wants to be the wow
I mean,
factor
I
and a little
started
bit,
that last year. I
yeah.
really don't know how I got the idea to do it. I guess, I mean, always the Lord, but I'm seeing a whole lot more of it now. But when I did it last year, I don't remember that I'd seen a bunch of it, like in the way I was creating it as an ornament and stuff like that. It is out there more now, but mine's just a little different, I guess, with my texture and
Well,
blending.
and I'm going to hold this up one more time before we go. For the person who has everything and has very exquisite taste, this something along these lines of this acrylic shadow box. Look how beautiful, with selenite. Now, this would be for someone who is of a spiritual nature. Do you have other things that you might mount on this selenite? You have intaglios that
and then I have
you
the
collect.
Then I have
You
the
have fragments.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful acanthus fragment that I wanted. Actually, I have it in my bathroom.
Yeah.
So it can have any kind of look
Yeah.
and meaning.
I'll tell you, I'm probably going to I'll probably try to do maybe 6 of those, and I will get those on my website because those are such great gifts. And I'll get those on my website for people to be able to purchase those. Like I said, once you do one, it's a one of a kind, and they take a lot of time to do.
Yeah.
But they're still very reasonable to get.
Well, I will say you need to get that done before this podcast. It'll be out in about a week.
I know,
because I will just say this, everyone, no one who hasn't already seen it walks out of my bathroom. Well, this is in my den, but I have 2 larger ones in my bathroom, and it's like it's this, but with the antique Greek leaf, and they're like, where did you get that beautiful? And this too.
And the issue too with the other, just to find that old, architectural fragment, piece of old gilded wood.
You'll never see it again.
It's so hard to find these. So
Right.
hard. So that's always my hunt, and they're not cheap. It's crazy now that they're kind of big.
Yeah.
I'll pick up one little piece and I'll go, you want $60 for that? I'm like,
yeah.
It's just
it's like an antique though. You're getting something nobody will ever have. It's unique. It's got a story behind it. But well, Debra, thank you so much for sharing. Okay, well, everyone, I will let you know how to connect with Debra and her lovely art. Debra, again, thank you, and
love you.
Have a great day. Love you too. Bye, everybody.